And we're live, folks, with another episode of The Corner. On the line here today, we have, or on the air, we have a guy from New York, Lord Dark. What's up, Lord Dark? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just got home off work and I am just, living life.
May I ask, like, what do you do for a living?
So my occupation is maintenance. I work in a grocery store.
All right, like a cashier or a warehouse or.
No, like the main store itself. I don't work in the warehouse. My occupation in the store is maintenance. Like I clean the floors or I take the trash or I do other stuff that they need me to do pretty much.
Oh, okay, man. I
Yeah.
gotta like say that I respect that. Like I've tried to like work in a store maybe like 2 weeks of my life, and I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it.
Oh
They,
yeah, because I mean, it's not for everybody because all the customers and stuff like that. I understand. But for me personally, I don't really think it's as much really. It's like I'm constantly thinking, I'm only here to get paid, and after a while, I go home. So it's like I don't really think too much besides that. Um, but I have great coworkers, great friends actually. Some of the customers like they like my work actually. Like they will walk up to me and be like saying, "Hey, I like what you're doing here. I like the way you clean this and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks." Just stuff like that makes my day better.
well, that also has a lot to say that you feel appreciated.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
not not
yeah
only by your
yeah
colleagues but also by
hmm
your customers, right?
yeah
I don't think like everybody in um, your branch of work feels that. Like I didn't, not at all. Customers were rude, and my coworkers were rude, and my boss
mm.
was like messing with the pay slips, so there were several hours missing from my pay. Um,
Oh God.
right, so like 2 weeks, and that was it. And like I got a job right after, which was like kind of the same, but still not.
Mm.
Then I went on to work at a gas station,
Okay.
and it was just like the pace dropped by like 10 levels because
Oh God.
it was like a gas station in the middle of nowhere outside the like industrial area.
I mean, that's the reason why because it's in the middle of nowhere.
No,
But
it wasn't in the middle of nowhere, but it was in the middle of like an industrial, like area with like factories and stuff. So nobody, and I mean like nobody was like ever coming in to buy anything, right? Except like some people like
mm,
might come off the ship. So yeah, it was like even some American from a ship over there and complaining
mm,
about that the price for a hot dog in Norway. This was in Norway. The price for a hot dog was like $9 for a hot dog, and I said, yeah, man, like welcome to Norway. It's like $9 for a hot dog.
yeah. Like to be honest, like in New York City, they can get away with that kind of stuff. And like the upper states, it's like not really because it's more cheaper up here than downstate with New York City and them.
Yeah, well, New York City is like also the most expensive place
Oh,
in all of America. Uh,
um,
and
yeah.
yeah, I've been there, and some local was like telling me that in New York you get $75 worth or $50 worth of what $100 really is worth if you're spending it other places in the country.
Yeah. No.
Right. If you know what I mean, like in the South, you
Hmm.
would be getting like $140 worth of your
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah, like me, okay, me, like I work, no, I get paid like $200 every week. So if I spend, yeah, if I spend money up, let's say by the end of the month, I'll get like, I want to say like 100,000 if I save it like for a whole month.
If you save it for a whole month, you'll have like $1,000, right?
Yeah, because like my job, it pays me $200 every week. Like every week I get paid. Every 2 weeks, but every week.
But you're not living in the city, are you? Like you're living
Oh,
upstate or something, right?
no,
Yeah,
no, I don't live in downstate. I live in upstate.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
live in I live like in the suburbs area. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Okay, like that makes all the difference. Like I've said, like
Yeah,
said, if you were having that salary and you you were working in the city, oh man,
and yeah, no, 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 God, no. I would suffer.
yeah, you would suffer greatly, man. Because like, yeah,
Hmm.
goddamn, like I've read that that in New York City you need like 70,000 a year to have a comfortable lifestyle. Anything
Yeah,
less than that is like seen as uncomfortable because then you can't afford the apartment you want, the car you want,
mm,
all that, the food you want.
yeah,
Um,
because
yeah,
mm, go on.
yeah, yeah. No, that just because like, like it is so expensive to live there. Um,
Oh yeah,
right. The only thing that I can remember like was like sure, man, you can like get like good cheap takeaway in New York, but everything else I felt like was expensive. I didn't think that the Metro card for like traveling was like particularly cheap, um, and I guess like the only good thing is like the takeaway
mm,
food and museums because like the museum prices is also affordable in the city since they have that policy where you like pay what you feel like is a fair price and what you can afford,
mm,
right? Um, but yeah, but that was it, man. I love to see more
yeah.
of the United States.
I'm just letting you know, like people are actually moving out of New York and like places like California and stuff like that. People are like moving out because like it's too expensive. Like it's getting too much. So people are like moving out to like let's say like Colorado or North Dakota or South Dakota or anywhere else that doesn't have like high crazy taxes.
No, well, why wouldn't you if you can get like if you could get like 2 to 3 times higher standard of living by moving to one of these places, even though they North Dakota is like also like in the middle of nowhere. Um,
So it is.
but still, like you would be able to get the house you want, the car you want,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have to. You would it would like probably also be a lot less stress than in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, it's just like, like those places are like spaced out. That's the only big thing about it. Like like my dad, he loves to drive on the road. Loves it. I don't know why he loves it, but he would. I think he would love to drive in North Dakota. I think he would love it because like the roads are so vast and so like half the time just empty.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah, for sure, man. Like the traffic, traffic on the I-99 is packed. Going southbound, yeah. Um, for sure, man. What state would you have chosen to live in? Like, if you could move to any place now?
I'll say Alaska, really, to be honest.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Um. So when I was little, right, I actually looked up to the former governor of Alaska, Salem Taylor. I actually like her because of yeah, I liked her and I did like John McCain. This was like 2008. I was 8 years old. Um, I didn't know anything about these people whatsoever. I just liked them for some odd reason.
All right.
And so she was governor of Alaska. And I was like, you know what? You know what? When I grow up, I'm gonna be governor of Alaska.
All right. So you liked Sarah Palin and John McCain growing up.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. I don't know why I like John McCain, to be honest. In particular, I didn't know nothing about John McCain really. I just knew he was just some. I just knew he's some guy running for president. I'm like, okay, I vote
Yeah.
for him. But I'm 8 years old, so I can't even vote.
Yeah. For
So
sure, man.
literally, so literally, I told my dad and my classmates at the time to vote for John McCain.
Yeah. 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 I get it. Um.
my Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that's so, but still, like what's so attractive with Alaska? Because to me, it seems like Alaska is like missing a lot of infrastructure, a lot of roads,
Yeah,
and expensive groceries. Since there is a ton of the food that's being sold in Alaska that needs to be flown in by airplane because
yeah,
lack of said infrastructure, right?
yeah. Flowing in or taking my sea. Now, personally, growing up in Upper New York, like I like the cold really. Like the cold is just like second thing to me because I don't like the heat that much. Cold is just like part of my life.
Oh
It's like
man,
yeah, because I was born in December actually.
yeah,
I'm a winter baby.
yeah.
So it's like I go to live in Alaska. It's like paradise for me.
Oh
It's-
wow, man. For me it's like completely opposite. If I were to live somewhere or move somewhere, it would be somewhere where it's hot year round. Like
yeah.
Caribbean hot year round.
Mhm.
That would be nice for me, man.
Mhm.
And then a humid climate where my pollen allergies wouldn't act up. Because whenever I go
Yeah.
to vacation in Spain or Portugal or Italy, then
Mhm.
like I don't react at all, not at all. So yeah,
Okay.
um, but yeah, man. What were you saying? Like you were saying something about center right politics at some point to me.
Oh yeah, I was.
Like why? What can you explain? Like what is center right politics?
Uh, like the best way I could put it is this: like not too far right, but not too, but like in the middle between the right and like the center.
All right, so you're talking about like, is it a mix between a
Mhm.
liberal Democrat and a right wing?
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
all right, all right. Then I can like kind of like make sense of it.
Mhm.
Um, because like I feel like that's the way that Western Europe politics is going right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm like, if you see like, let's say for example, what's that party called? If you
Well,
see the like,
in what
if you,
country?
if you, um Germany, if you see the AFD, they're definitely center right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's also like when you
Mhm.
like whenever I see like these like so-called like labor parties, um,
Mhm.
then and then I like looking at their politics and then comparing them to one of the right wing parties. Then I don't see that they are that much different. I'm like seeing that the similarities are beginning to become more and more alike.
Mhm.
Um, and like I don't know like why that is because like I've been speaking to people like that and they're like telling me that I'm not wrong, that Labour Party is, or the Social Democrats as they call it in Denmark, and the left, which is which is the right wing in Denmark, is kind of like opposite, so it's a little confusing. But
Wait, wait,
yeah,
what?
yeah, like they call they call it the left, and then in Denmark, and then like multiple times I've asked like why are you calling it the left, because they are because they are right wing as fuck, you know. Um, but I mean, like in Denmark, a lot of things is like upside down.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Denmark is a weird country.
Yeah. Because in Norway, we would just call left for left and right for right, you know.
Hmm.
But you know, like that's what it is. And these two parties is like has like a lot of similarities in my opinion. Um, also in Norway, then it's also like the same. And I don't know like if the rest of Europe, but definitely like Germany, like you said, probably also, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and and I think like that's a general direction that we're seeing Western Europe going at right now. That it is becoming uh, more people are like leaning more towards the right.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially in countries like France, Spain,
yeah,
Portugal, Italy.
and I'm wondering why, because like my immediate thesis on that would have been that it might happen
Hmm.
if people are starting to, you know, like what is it called, you know, like having more purchasing power, being more successful, being less worried about like their job situation and so on, right? You know,
Yeah.
being more established, then I would understand the tendency
Uh huh.
to moving more to the right, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
but I don't know, like I don't see these countries like having a huge growth right now. So
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm on bare ground there. Do you know anything? You know, like, or have you researched it?
Not too much, to be honest. Like some of the parties, I am familiar with, like in Italy, Casa Pound. In France, I believe they're called. I know for a while they were called National Front. Now they're called National Rally. Um, in Spain, you had Vox, but Vox, to me personally, I don't see them as you know, far right. To be honest,
No.
I see Vox as like maybe at best right leaning, but not
Yeah.
far right whatsoever. But not far right. The only far right party in Spain is probably the El Phalanges.
Yeah.
That's the
But
only party. That's the only party I can mind. We're
the
talking about Spain.
the last time we saw a spike in these right parties
Hmm.
was was when this refugee flow from Syria was coming.
Oh yeah,
You
definitely.
know.
Yes, yeah, Syria and like some parts of Africa too.
Yeah. When that happened, there was a lot of people that started to lean more towards right, because the right
Yeah.
has a more extreme immigration politics, you know,
Hmm.
which I, at some level, you know, like can understand. Um, so yeah, man, and you know, like Sweden, right?
Yeah,
The
with the
politicians there,
Democrats.
yeah, the politicians there were at first welcoming immigrants into the country, right?
Hmm.
Then you know, then you have the downside and the consequences to this happening,
Oh yeah.
which is like that it's a lot of social outcasts, people that
Hmm.
aren't qualified for jobs, and a ton of immigrants that are on welfare and can't get a job. And
Yeah.
as a result of that, the crime spikes, right? Gang crime spikes.
Yeah. True.
And
Okay.
and and now they have elected a party that that wants to throw them out. you know.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like
Big.
wait, wait,
Mm,
just let me finish. It takes like 10 seconds. So to me,
oh,
this just seems like really short-sightedness of like thinking, because
mm,
if you commit to something, like letting a bunch of immigrants into your country, um, then you should commit all the way through and be like, okay, I'm going to let this X amount in. I'm going to make sure that X amount of percentage of those are going to be in jobs, they're going to be involved, they are going to be integrated into the country, right?
yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
Okay.
man, like short sighted, like I said, like just an election cheese to get elected. Yeah,
Yeah. So thing here is so the thing here is this. Okay, like mass immigration is not really viable at all. Like say for example, if you don't know English and I don't know Norwegian, right?
yeah,
All right. So yes, I can take classes to learn Norwegian. You can take classes to know English. That's no problem. Now, if it's one person, it's not really a big deal. But it's like if it's like half a nation into another nation, it's gonna be upsetting to natives because like yet again, Swedish people, they speak Swedish. Like the majority understands Swedish, just like in America, we understand English. Now, yes,
English and
mm-hmm.
Spanish, right?
Yes, English and Spanish, but I'm mainly talking about the first language, Spanish. Yes, but that's really for like the South, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like the southern regions by the border of Mexico. I'm not saying there's no Spanish people speaking up here in like the northern states. I mean, yes, there are. I actually work with some people I work with from they're from Venezuela, Colombia, Portugal, not Portugal, um, um,
Brazil. I think that you mean, but
no, Brazil's not really Spanish, but
yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, that's right. Like
No,
Brazil speaks Portuguese.
yeah,
Uh,
no, oh, Port, no, not Portugal, Puerto Rico. I'm sorry, Puerto
all right,
Rico,
all right.
Cuba, stuff like that. Yes, I have worked with Spanish speaking. I have worked with Spanish speaking people before. But like mainly like the U.S. first language is English. So is Canada. Like the first national English. Sorry, no, the first national language is English. Just like Norwegian, no, just like in Norway or Sweden, the first national language is Norwegian and Swedish. Now, yes, they can learn the languages, but at math drills, it's gonna be kind of hard to do it. And some of these people they don't really care for jobs. They don't care for anything like that. Like they just want to get on um benefits and stuff like that. You know, programs to help them out. Like they don't want to do anything for the nations. And I see why the right wing is growing, especially in Europe. I mean, especially in Europe, America too, but not to an extent. But yeah,
And that's one thing, and then also the fact that like people that are right wing also typically want to pay lower or less in taxes, right? And that's also something that I can understand because like compared to
mm-hmm,
America, the taxes in Europe is like pretty damn high. Um,
mm-hmm,
Definitely, but then again, the United States is not a welfare state. So low taxes would kind of like be inevitable because you have to pay for HMO insurances, right? Which would eat up a good chunk of your salary, anyways.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, man, I get it. I understand, like why people are like starting to lean towards that, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure if it is something we should be frightened about or if it is the correct path forward. Uh,
Now, okay, now at this
or do you,
point, it's really up to you know our feelings about it because like we can both say we should be worried about this, but at the same time, should be, but at the same time, we can also say yes, I fully agree with this. Know, if it's like me or you, we can have this choice of joining them or just don't join them whatsoever. Whole nation, if a whole nation, if it's choose to join along, go along or not, that's nation choice whatsoever. But if it's just me or you, that's our choice. It's the call.
yeah, that's true, man. That is true. Um,
Say for example, you know, the Northern Resistance Movement, right?
the Northern Resistance Movement.
Yeah, in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark.
Yeah, yeah, I know it. They call them Odin or something, I believe.
Yeah, those cringe National Socialists.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. Yep.
Yeah, me personally, I see them as cringe, but whether I see them as cringe or not, they are gaining traction. That I cannot ignore. Yes, they are cringe. Yes, they are going over fanatic, but their message is getting out there. Now, whether we like it or not, they are probably going to get some seats.
Yeah, well, they did in Sweden. In
They
Sweden,
did.
they elected the National Socialist Party or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Nazi Party in Sweden. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, they elected the Nazi Party in Sweden to the parliament, which is they're not in charge, but still they're in the parliament. They are having seats, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how far they went.
Yeah. It's just like Golden Dawn.
Yeah,
And and we all know what happened with the Golden Dawn. Golden Dawn got shut down because they were deemed as a criminal organization.
yeah, man. Um, but that's how far it
Hmm.
can go, right? And like I don't know if like that's the evolution that is going in Western Europe. Like, if you have you paid attention to the politics in Poland and some of these Eastern European countries?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, like they are heavily right wing and
Yes,
extreme
yes,
anti-immigration.
yeah. But okay, so like Poland, I can understand Poland. I understand why they're like that way. You
Well,
know why?
why are they like that?
History.
Okay, man, can you refresh my memory of Polish history?
Okay, so the majority of the time in Poland, Poland was always never existing in Europe. It was always conquered by Austria, Prussia, and Russia. Up until World War I, Poland got independence. They were deeply passionate about their independence. Now, when it got invaded again, um, Poland went away until the end of the Second World War, and then Poland was reemerged as a Soviet puppet until the 90s, and then That's really it.
Right.
To be
All right.
honest.
I think I get where
Yeah.
where it's going. So they were like pretty much like fed up with being eaten up by others that were constantly rolling over Poland, right, and just taking the territory as their own.
Yeah.
I think like that explains it, at least like some of it. Um, and
Yeah.
I believe like this is like common for like a lot of like the Eastern European countries. Probably because like they experienced the similar thing, right? You know, like being the puppet, being like absorbed by the Soviet Union, and before that, what's it called? You know, like the kingdom before that, before the Soviet Union, that was Russia, right? Prussia or something,
Yeah.
right?
Russia, Prussia, Austria.
Yeah, always being absorbed by like the bigger monster and never being like able to told what they want to do. So yeah, it kind of like explains why they are so afraid of like being rolled over and taken over, I guess. But yeah, it is for sure, you know, like interesting times that we are entering, and
Yeah.
like I believe like this has all been on hold. This has all been on hold now because of the Corona crisis. Because like, right before the Corona crisis, we had, you know, like the green shift. You know, like how everybody's like going to become more green now for some reason, and saving the planet. And before this saving the planet stuff, then it was all about the immigrants.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like where we're going to pick up now. If we're going to pick up with the green shift, or if it is still going to be people or politicians going to be waving a flag, you know, like being anti-immigration and pro-right wing.
They might actually. They might. Who knows? To be honest. Just be honest. Like the green movement, like just saying, you know, that wasn't recently really. Like it happened when I was it was happened when I was a kid actually.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you know, I remember on I think it was Nickelodeon. They were telling people to, you know, go outside, play, stuff like that. You know, World Day of something. I forgot what it was.
As much
They were
as
trying
much
to.
as much as I believe in the green movement and the green shift that's going on, then I also believe that it is just a massive cash grab by the by the governments.
It is really. It is. It's like, you know, because to be honest, what government wants you to spend all your money on this or that? Like it's a cash grab, to be honest.
Yeah, man. It's an excuse to raise a couple of fees and taxes, to get some money into the box, right? And like at least like that's how I view it, you know. Like I don't know, if you. I don't think that you know like what happened in Norway when the last government was elected. Then they were elected, but they had to share. You know, they had to share the power in order to get the power, right? So
Yeah. So basically, they like a coalition.
coalition, yeah, between the right wing party,
Huh?
and the environment party, and then like I guess like another kind of like a right wing party that is like a lot of, you know, like anti-immigration and pro lesser tax and whatever, right? So these three parties is like sharing power, and like I don't know like what the hell has like happened there, but like one of the parties said like we're going to get rid of all the toll booths and stuff in Norway and never going to have that again, promise, if you elect us. And then they get elected, and it ends up with like being put up like 400 to 500 toll booths around Norway. We have to pay to drive on the roads.
Okay, remind me, what are toll booths again?
You know, like toll booths, like, you know, like when you drive down to New Jersey, right? And you have
Okay,
to
I
drive
see
through
now.
A turnpike, New Jersey Turnpike.
Oh yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hate those things.
Yeah, man. So it pops up like 400, 400 to 500 of those all over Norway.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man. And, like after being, like being like, elect us, we're gonna get rid of all.
Who's why? Why are you spending money on this?
Well, because again, it's a massive cash grab, right? You have and
Oh my god.
at first it was like just the meaning that like yeah, like these and then there were at beginning for like I guess like 20 years ago, 10 years ago or something, that the meaning was that they were only going to be on the highways. The highways is owned by the highways are owned by the government, and the city roads and stuff is like like city roads. So in the beginning, it was only supposed to be on the highways, to be with the purpose or the excuse being that it's paying for the new road, right? Paying the billions of dollars for the new roads, and when that's paid down, then it stops. But I believe that somewhere along the road, they have seen that, holy shit, these things actually bring in a massive amount of money. We should just do this we should just do this everywhere.
Yeah, why not?
Put our turnpikes everywhere, and then somewhere like it comes up that you know what, we should also get rid of the turnpikes. Like where it is like sitting a dude or a woman in a toll booth taking money, and just set up some camera sensor that scans the VIN number of your car or the tag number of your car, and then you just get the bill in the mail. How easy is that? Then we don't have to pay for that guy's salary also, because then it's just all computerized. So that's what happens. That's what happened, man. And it's bringing in a lot of money.
Okay. No offense when I say this. What the fuck is wrong with your government?
Yeah, I asked the same thing when it happened, because I would have understood it if it had been done the way like it is like in Sweden. Sweden also like has toll booths and turnpikes, right? But it is only around like the major cities like Stockholm and Göteborg or something, right? Where I can, or Gothenburg or Stockholm, where I can understand it, and then it's only like $1. But in Norway it is like, I don't know, it's a lot. Like some is like $3 per pass, and you try to drive into the capital, then you're ending up like getting a bill on like $50 in your mailbox.
How much?
$50. I believe that. Yeah, for like just driving into the city.
$50.
Yeah, $50 for driving into the city, because you have to pass so many booths, and then it's like this and that, and you can't drive into the city with a diesel car, and you can't drive in. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's completely nuts. So like, I'm excited to see like when are these going to come up, because like to me it seemed like very like smugly planned, because they elect a new government, right? The taxes go down, and then this goes up, right? So kind of a way to like equal the hole that you're putting yourself in as a government when you're lowering the taxes, but also to gain more. Definitely something like fishy, if you ask me. And what's even like more baffling is that they have like put privatized companies in charge of running this like software and shit, right?
Oh god.
So you're like, like at the same time as you're doing this and like this, then you're like put privatized company to run this, with CEOs having like $1 million salary or something a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I don't know like where it's going to end, and it's the same with the company that runs public transport in Norway, that's also been privatized. And like I don't know. I don't know where it's going to end.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your country is so.
Yeah. I'm wondering like where it is going to end, like I said, because
Okay.
like when it's like that, and it is also like, have you ever been to Norway?
No, I have not. Now I know. I actually planned to go to Norway with my
Yeah.
ex girlfriend
Yeah.
because she's Norwegian.
Yeah.
I
And
actually planned to go to Norway with her at one point, and now I'm hearing this. I'm like,
like
you know what? I didn't even go to Norway at all. Okay, like I already feel broke.
yeah, man, like
I feel broke already.
you should go to
Like,
Sweden. Go to Sweden. They're gonna get your money's worth. Because like sure, man, like Norway has like a lot of like great nature and shit, right?
mm,
But regarding the price, I'm not sure that I can say that it's worth it. Then like if you're going to Norway, then I would like definitely like decide that you don't go to a hotel. I would decide that you go on like a camping trip, right? Pack a
uh,
tent and
mm,
like only buy the necessities, right? And then hike, and then get over to Sweden at some point, and then go to a hotel there because like then you get like more worth, and then like it's also I don't know. I believe that this is like definitely coming from America and being imported to Western Europe right now, where
oh
you
my
have where
God.
you where you have like where you have that mentality that like oh my god, neighbor's got a big house, I need a bigger house. Oh my god, the neighbor's got a boat, I need a boat. Oh my god, the neighbor has 2 cars, I need 2 cars, right?
What do you need two? What do you need two
Like,
cars for?
I don't know, but like this mentality is like coming, especially like to Norway. It hasn't really come that much to Denmark and Sweden yet. I feel like these two countries
No.
is like remaining grounded, but regards to Norway,
Mm,
then it's just like becoming like a real, then it's becoming like a normal thing to have like multiple cars, a boat, a cabin, and it has also like recently been ranked number one of places in the world with the most um, mortgage loan per capita.
okay. Okay. To be
Yeah,
honest.
does that
Yeah.
make sense to you?
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna say this again. I'm just gonna say this. Look, guys, stop copying America. Okay.
Yeah,
Just stop.
yeah.
Okay. We're not. Okay. We're not a good example
No,
at all.
I
We're
I com-
not.
I
We're
completely
definitely in the. Go
I,
on.
I completely agree with you. I mean, like
Yeah.
you don't need to take up like a mortgage loan 400% your annual salary.
Yeah, because
It's
I'm pretty because hold on, I'm pretty sure if all this in Norway happened in the United States, you would see revolution in the
yeah,
streets.
I think so too. I think so too. But
You-
I mean, like the trick is like to do it piece by piece by piece. Like little by little,
mm,
and then come up with like like small excuses along the way, like saying like yeah, but it's only temporary, and like it is for a good cause and stuff. Because then you're able to push the line, like inch by inch by inch, and people will just accept it, right?
mm.
And that's also like the Scandinavian mentality. But you go to France. What did they do? When what was it that they raised? They raised the tax on. I think they raised the tax on fuel or something, gas and fuel, and
Mm.
they went batshit. They went to the streets, rioting, Molotov cocktail throwing, like clashes
Yeah.
with riot police and shit. That's what I would have like assumed that would have happened, but like I don't know. I guess like North Europeans are pussies compared to the South Europeans. Because yeah, man, like that's the reaction that I had expected to see, you know. But having lived there and seen, you know, like how it has gone up for the years, then I don't think that they have it in them, you know. They complain a little bit and they make some noise, but you know, like nothing near that, nothing near that. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Go on.
they did the same. They did the same in England, I believe, when they raised the interest or something for student loans or something, and it was also like rioting in the streets and like crazy shit. Um, man, but yeah, this would never happen in America because America's a young country. It's built on
Hmm.
blood, and the reason why you started the revolution, you know, the revolution to become independent in the first place, was because some people felt, you know, like it was unnecessary paying taxes to a queen across the
Oh,
across the
King. Yeah.
across the Atlantic, right? That was the
Hmm.
incentive. So after the 13 states and stuff was made, and you had won the independence war and stuff, then it took years before any kind of tax was implemented. You know, because
Hmm.
if George Washington was to, you know, like suddenly say that, like, yeah, you're all gonna have to pay 25% tax, yo, then then that would just instantly spike another civil war between the 13 states, and he would have been killed.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so yeah, definitely, like you say. So it took like a long time before any kind of taxes in America was implemented, but they did become implemented. It just took a long time. Um, so that's where we're at. In But still, you know, like America's taxes is still like reasonable. You're not paying unreasonable high amount of taxes. So
Hmm.
if you do have an average paid job in the U.S., you probably are still able to live a semi comfortable life and pay HMO insurance. I believe, at least like as long as you don't live in New York City, of course. But yeah. So man, like, do you have any takes on any of this?
Yeah. Like real quick, I just want something very controversial. Like just saying, Norway is so what the fuck right now. But
Yeah,
like,
well, you know,
just
like it's always been that way.
yeah.
But there is like some explanations for it. For one, it's a small country.
Hmm.
It's not part of any union, right? And when you're not part of any union, then there isn't an organ to control every decision
Yeah,
made
that's
by the
right.
government, right?
Hmm.
Because, you know, like if Denmark or you know, like Germany or France, or, you know, like any other member of the European Union was to try and pull any of the same shit, something would go like click in the European Union organ council, you know, like where they're like monitoring all decisions, like the decisions like this that is being made, and being like, oh, holy shit, is this something we have consented to, that it's okay? And, you know, like that would happen, right? But since Norway is not part of the European Union and is standing by its own, then they're free
Hmm.
to do what they want, right? They're free to raise prices as
Yeah.
they want. They're free to, um, they're free to, yeah, they're free to do it. They're free to do all this. And not only that, but it's also, you know, like price cooperation going on. That's not that's not uncommon in the world, but, you know, like it's just so obvious, you know, when the food chains are cooperating, and, you know, like putting up prices simultaneously on food every year by, I don't know, like 2 to 5% or whatever, right? Maybe more on some merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's always just so easy to just explain it away when nobody's controlling you, to say that, yeah, it's, like it's just because like, the prices for some supplier went up, so the prices for the food goes up, right?
Yeah.
Or like they did in the oil industry, in the oil company. um, the Equinor, or formerly Stat Oil, is like 30 or 40% owned by the Norwegian government.
Uh,
And they have, like it's also like in the winter, especially, like the fuel prices go heavily up in Norway too. I don't know, like you probably don't know the difference between liters and gallons. Let me just
mm-hmm.
quickly Google it for you. Um, okay, so a US gallon is 3.78 liters.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so let me see. Let me see here. So, like in the winter in Norway, and especially like in northern Norway, you would see gas prices on. Let me see. Let me see. 18 times 3.78. 68. How much is that in the US? Um, man, gotta like figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gas prices on like $8 to $9 a gallon. I believe that's higher than in the US.
Probably is.
Yeah. Like, so it's just easy to make all these, like things when there is nobody to control you, right? And it just has had like some unfortunate repercussions, because like it, every action has a reaction, right? And the reaction is that people will do everything, like to comp the increase, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, like with the loans, you have like banks being like, yeah, you can take up a loan with us. Like you want to borrow $1 million, no problem, no problem, right? um. So, man, like I don't know, like where it's coming to with that country when all this shit's going down, and you'll have like what it's called, like the national the national state interest rate, right? You
Yeah,
have
but yeah,
national controlled interest rate or something.
yeah.
You have that, and that's what you base that's what the banks base the interest rate on the mortgage loans. Since that's the baseline for that. In Norway, that has like remained unchanged in like 10 plus years, remained unchanged on like 0% or something. And as a result of that, then the Norwegian kroner keeps being less worth, right? And the prices for real estate goes up. And like I think that like they're past the point where if they were to increase this interest rate now, then so many people would be in trouble paying down their loans. Like as I said, when you have like 400% of your salary in mortgage loans, um, and you're like pushed to the limit already, paying down the mortgage loan, and the interest rate were to suddenly go up only by like a couple of points, you would have a problem, right? But because this isn't because this isn't happening, then the interest prices, like remains the same. It remains unchanged, and the prices for real estate goes heavily up, especially in Oslo, where it is almost impossible for a normal person to buy an apartment.
Oh yeah.
and they, like they have something that is called, what is it called, the nurse index. Okay, the nurse index is, like what you would like say up there, what you would go after and measure. What can you buy on a nurse's salary? Like, and a nurse is like a pretty decent salary, also in the United States, right? And in Oslo, a nurse would be able to pay only, I don't know, only like, only getting like a tiny, tiny, tiny apartment for that salary, and that was under the condition if she had zero in student loan or any outstanding loans, and $80,000 in capital. So, man, like, I don't know. It seems like, like that the rat race is on. The rat race is on there, and that's what I don't get. You know, I don't want that. I don't want to. Uh, so like in some way, like I'm glad that I moved to Denmark, because like at least I'm feeling that I get my money's worth.
Hmm.
I'm not paying. I'm not paying $150 a month for electricity. I'm paying 50, 3 times less. Even though
Yeah,
Norway, even though Norway claimed to have the cheapest electricity in Europe, uh, which is bullshit. Because sure, by kilowatt you might be right, but then you like have all the fees, management fees and shit, that counteracts that, and all of a sudden you're paying 150 instead of 50 a month. So yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't feel like, and I don't feel like a need to get the boat. I don't feel a need to get the cabin. I don't feel a need to get a higher loan than what I already have to get a bigger house.
Hmm.
And yeah, man. I still think that that's something that's it's going to be that is being, yeah, like I said, man, it's being imported. It's a mentality that we are importing from the United States, because in the United States it's also like a lot about status. It's a lot about having, like the bigger car, or the bigger house. Like at least like depending on like where you live, probably,
Oh
but
yeah,
still,
definitely. Yeah,
the
definitely.
mentality is present. I don't know if you have experienced it with friends, or family.
Uh, friends, not really. Because like me and my friends, we have different tastes, really.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we all have different tastes. We don't like to really compare to each other. Family here and there, but not too often.
No, man. Like, yeah, it is like some, like in my family there's like definitely some that have like misunderstood the concept of respect for money, and it's all about status and getting a loan on $1 million to to get a house, right?
Hmm.
And man, when that happened, I was like thinking like, holy shit, would you? It wasn't $1 million because they had some money, but still, like even after like what they had, it was still like I don't know, like $500,000-$600,000 or something at least, plus some more. And
Hmm.
would you take up a loan like that if you were in your damn 40s?
No.
No, right? That's like that was like exact my fault, because like if you were doing that, holy shit, man, then you gotta be damn sure that you're going to have a salary to cover that until you're well
Just
into your 70s.
just know, like if I'm old and I'm in my 40s or whatever, and someone offer me loans like that, no, no, no.
No,
I'm going no, I'm gonna look at you like I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy.
like how it should be, how it typically is that uh, you would typically have paid down your loan by the time you reach your mid 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you're debt free, and all of the sudden, like what you need in order to go to pension drastically changes, because you don't need all that money anymore to survive, right? All you need is like money for your utilities, and like some saving up account that you can use for travel, and yeah, man, that's it. That's all you need, like utilities, food, and money for travel. You don't need any money to pay down for your loan anymore when you reach your middle 50s. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are, like in that category, then you are able, like to maybe like have a massive amount of money saved up, plus your pension when you someday like chooses to go on retirement, right? But
Yeah.
that's something that like I think is changing today, as this mentality is like becoming more and more, gotta have more, gotta have a bigger house, and all of a sudden it's not unusual to take up a loan where you're in the million in the mid 40s on $1 million, right? Yeah, man, I don't know. It's interesting to see where this ends. I
Yeah.
I don't need like a bigger house, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get a bigger house. To be honest,
No.
like, it's like if you buy a bigger house, it's like, do you really need all this space?
Yeah, and like not only that, it's like, like do you really need to take up like a bigger loan for that? I would if I had
Mm.
the if I had like the money cash to pay for it, or won the lottery or something, then sure, all right, why not?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man.
Cause like, I understand I understand if you have like a big family, like if you have like 9 kids, that I kind of understand.
Yeah, but then you're then you're pushed to the limit where you like have to get it anyways. But yeah, I
Yeah, true.
understand. Yeah. Um.
Cause like one of my friends, right? Like one of my friends, he is the 14th child of his parents. Yeah, his parents had like 14 kids.
Are you serious? Like same woman, same mother,
Yes.
same dad. Holy shit!
Yep, same woman, same dad. And I'm like, oh shit, your mom was like a baby factory, pretty much. And he was like, yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does the dad do for a living?
He works.
Because I'm thinking like, damn, do
I like. I think the dad's a bartender.
damn. I mean, like, do you get does like a pregnant woman, or a woman that gives birth in the United States, get any compensation from the United States government, or
Um,
this is like, nope, you're on your own, you gotta quit your job and you gotta stay at home to take care of the kid?
um, well, there's a thing called child support. Like,
Yeah,
now,
but child support, isn't that only if the parents split
yes,
up?
only yeah, it's only if your parents it's only if the parents played up. But other than that, I'm not aware if anything else can help the woman out.
Holy shit, man.
I'm not aware of it. I mean,
Hmm. Okay.
to be honest though, personally, I doubt the United States wants to help women, with their kids that often.
Yeah.
Um, they always want women to work.
Wow.
They always want women to, yeah.
Wow, you need to have a solid plan then, or be or be very or have a very well paying job as the father, if you have
Mm,
a kid in the United States, then that's for sure. Um
yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Do you have anything to add before we end it, man?
Um, Not really, to be honest.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank anybody that has been listening to this and like, share, and subscribe if you like the conversation you just heard. And as always, don't forget to DM me or write me a comment or get in touch with me by smoke signals or whatever if you are interested in being a guest on the corner, and I will make it happen ASAP. Thank you for listening, guys. Peace out.